Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome to Spot On. And I'm Renee Rose, your host. And today we are interviewing Gemma Nelson, my best friend. I am so excited to bring her to you all. We had a few little difficulties, but we are on now rolling. So give a big spot on welcome to Gemma Nelson. Woo!
Thank you for having me.
You are very welcome. I'm so glad. I've been working everything up here so we can do this together. So I'm so glad that you came on.
Awesome.
And we do remember, I forgot to say that we have a big surprise we're going to be announcing, and that will be more towards the end of the interview. So stick with us, everybody, to hear the big surprise. So, why don't we go right on in and introduce everyone to you by telling your story and letting them know who you are and what you do and how you've got here and how you're such a beautiful, wonderful person.
Certainly, it's a pleasure. So, well, from a very young age, I was in touch with my guide, Violet. She kept me company at school because people perceived me to be a bit different, so they didn't mix with me too well. So I was kept company with Violet, and she helped me hone into certain gifts or abilities that I'd been given, whereby I could track people or I could just instinctively know where to find somebody. I was also brought up in a very strict Christian religion, which allowed me to have a good connection with God and beings. It allowed me to accept that, it might be arrogant to think that we're the only planet in creation. So, I was able at a young age to know that there was other beings out there. Nice. And the good thing about that religion was that it wasn't prayer books. It allowed you to study the Bible for yourself, and God would tell me the truths within the book. So things that had been changed, it was identified to me at a young age that that wasn't correct because that wasn't in the unconditional love spirit of things. So from a very young age, I've had the connection, been able to speak to God in heartfelt manner. And throughout my life as I grew up, we dip in and out. It's the ebb and flow, isn't it?
Right.
I had to go off and find myself and become the start of adulthood. And, I did walk away from organized religion. I did also live in a very controlled environment as a child. So I didn't socialize too well. So introverted, you might say. But as time went on, I met somebody and fell in love with the idea of being in love, got married. However, even though that relationship wasn't the best thing, it did serve to protect me. And it did serve to allow me to look into reading tarot and things like that. So that's where my card reading started. And then as that relationship went on and I had some angel babies, I did sort of fall away from a belief system. It got crumbled and then redesigned. So, that's the ebb and the flow. We sort of dip in, dip out and redefine everything, and then our belief system comes back maybe a bit stronger each time. And that's certainly been true for me in terms of my personal experience, is that each time I've sort of fell away, it's been a shorter abstinence. And then I sort of decided that I didn't believe in God anymore because I'd lost too many angel babies. So instead of sort of not believing in something, I connected with the planet Earth and Gaia. So it would be her that I would talk to when I was connecting. And, you know, when I first had my experience of losing a child, I connected with God and said, you know, I want to be in service. I want to put some nurture and love back into the world. And I kept those agreements even in the times when I was going through the dark soul of night. You know, you'd find yourself in the right place at the right time, and you would be of service to somebody in supporting and helping them through their difficulties. So it's something that throughout, oh, goodness knows how many years now, I've been able to stay connected with the heart no matter what I've been through. And that has enabled me to continue to be in service.
Great.
Throughout the years, I've had a few walk-ins. So whereas, you know, I will have agreed to leave my vessel and another being come in and integrate with me. And each time there has been healing with that. So I'm deeply thankful for that.
Great.
In 2012, I sort of hit a point where as I was like, right, universe, I deserve to have my child and I deserve to be healed because I've been diagnosed with different disabilities, if you like. And I said, you know, I deserve to be given the chance. And lo and behold, 2 weeks later, I find out that I am with child.
Yay.
And the universe moved mountains for me to be able to receive the treatment that I needed in order for me to have my now 5-year-old son. So blessings abound. And as the integration has finally merged within the walking, there's been a whole physical transformation as well. So whereas illnesses like fibromyalgia might be considered by the natives a spiritual illness, and I was sort of pressured to leave my job in 2015 when I was first diagnosed, I realise now that it was because my body needed me to listen to it. And all along this time, I've been supporting people that have made themselves present to me in terms of sort of support. I'm strongly into the oracle readings now, tarots. A lovely lady, Pamela Caddy, inspired me to start channeling. So I now am able to channel multidimensional beings. So I'm eternally grateful for that, along with the beautiful tones from Gaia, from the galactic family. So many blessings. And in the last couple of years, you know, the coaching thing has really sort of taken off with the different people that come towards me, that I'm able to support and nurture. And that is the theme of what I believe in and I'm passionate about, is supporting and nurturing people. And in doing so, I've had to work hard on myself in terms of the way that I am towards myself. I stopped all negative self-talk and started to love myself. So, you know, this is the path that we are on. We're on a path, a journey of loving and unconditionally accepting our light shades and our dark shades, and all the tools that I've managed to learn or be guided to use, I can now use and tailor to help and support another. So it is a real big passion of mine to be of support to people, because the universe, God, source, whoever you believe in, whoever that greater power is, has transformed me and has answered my requests that being able to live a happy and a peaceful life. And that is what we all want.
Absolutely. Absolutely. How wonderful. That was just an awesome introduction. Thank you. Yeah, that was really great. You spanned a good, your whole life, really nicely. And I like that, definitely that you've had more than one walk-in. We created the walk-in group so that we can have a place for walk-ins. It's a very small private group. But if any of you out there are watching this or listening, Gemma and I are in the walk-in group that's here created. Gemma is also an administrator in all of my groups. So you will find Gemma in everything that I'm doing. We are soul sisters, galactic sisters, and listening, to what you just said. I'm right there with you, honey. Right there with you. Between our children losses, our beautiful live children, and those that are past and are spiritually with us, and a walk-in situation, and then growing from our readings to and our self, loving ourselves in gratitude to bring us to this point where we can really evolve and become true coaches. We were consultants, all of our lives, but then, when the coaching came through, it really is a much more comprehensive way to be able to help people to make a commitment for their life journey rather than just an hour. Let's see what we can do to affect you, because so many people expect readings to be giving them times and timelines, and we're just not in that, right? I mean, we're physical, but it's very hard to get spiritual to, commit to a timeline of physical when they're spiritual. Exactly. So, and a lot of people want that in readings and do things, and we just don't do that because we're more advisors and more coaches. We have our abilities to be able to channel and do all those readings for everybody, absolutely. But that's just a small tool of our arsenal of all the tools we have, which makes us better coaches and more intuitive life coaches. So it takes us up to another level because we already have our life experiences at our age now to be able to help people just from our own self like other people are. But because we are evolving and ascending now, we are closer to being able to help on a much higher spiritual level as well. And so I love that you're right there with me, and we both do the same thing. And it's a cooperative, it's a collaboration, and we help each other because each one of us resonates with a different group. Even though we are soul family and creating our galactic family, as we all unite on a big scale, we're all coming in. But the people we're actually going to help, maybe one-on-one with our coaching is just going to be a certain amount. We can only do so many at once. So when we have so many, it's still okay because we have so many coaches. But I'm trying to pull in more of the intuitive type coaches, but we have all different coaches in our group. So we encourage everybody to find somebody to help them, because as coaches, we understand how important it is for coaches, even for us. So even if you don't have the income right now, you can do what I've been doing and going, to different coaches, and they will usually do a live for you and give you some golden nuggets, and you can start, getting close to the ones that you want, so that when you do start making income, you can immediately take your income right away to hire a business coach. On a small scale, but that will help you immediately jump right up, and your business will be able to take off. And that is what Gemma and I are trying to produce for all of you out here. We're creating our coaching capabilities for you and opening the door for everybody else. So I know I kind of went off on that, but we are both really, really working hard on our coaching side as well for all of you. So this is a perfect time to talk about it, because I haven't really talked about it with anybody else.
I mean, it's very important to empower people, and that's what our style of coaching does. It's not that we're going to coach you and keep you contained within our circle. We want to empower you, give you the tools so you can fly. And that is very important, that you find empowerment from your coach. So anybody who says, I'm the only one who can do this, run the opposite direction and find somebody who is going to empower you and give you the tools so you know how to care for yourself holistically, completely, spiritually, on the planet Earth, and in any way that you decide, because we all have the ability to tap into whichever ability, whichever gifts you choose for yourself. And it's like somebody once said to me, oh, you should focus on one branch of what you do. And I was like, well, that might be okay for you.
Right.
But the people that come towards me need a multi sense of spectrum. What I can give them. So, absolutely. You know, that's why it's been important to work on myself in order to be able to offer lots of things that the people that come to me can then gain from.
Absolutely. There are very, very many coaches that are focused on just relationships, business, or what's the other one? Health. And that is very important. And I know many 6 and 7 figure coaches that are at that higher level. So there are many, many coaches on many different levels as well. And the higher level coaches have 3, 4, 5 coaches helping them in all different areas, because each coach, like every consultant and every counselor, has their own life experiences that they bring in. And the one wonderful thing that ties us all together is when we're all connected to our heart. We all still finally come down to that same end result. We just all have different tools in different ways. And some of us, I mean, a majority of people are nicely focused and specialized. And that's an awesome thing to be. I certainly would never knock that. But my life has been so varied, and I have done so much in my life that I have, between technical and spiritual and financial and promotion, and even, you know, modeling at 18 years old and being an actress, you know, very young. There's just so many things that have pulled everything together, that each coach uses what they've had in their experience to take them to their level and the way they're going to be. And mostly what we're doing as coaches, and jumping from doing readings to coaching, is that we're taking people that want to do readings and want to start on their journey to help themselves and learn and evolve. But when they're finally ready to make that commitment and really change their life, then that's when a coach can come in and be accountable to keep you going forward. And I think that's number one for coaches, is we actually help people stay accountable, because when they're doing it all by themselves, they have support here and there, but not necessarily someone to be accountable with that's going to be loving and supportive and understand and connect with them, because we always have different people and things. But a coach is on a different level, so it's very important that you resonate with your coach. That's why I have so many coaches in my group, and once we really pack the coaches group, you'll be able to go just right over to the coaches group and see all the introductions for everybody, or some of their interviews. And if you connect, then, like today, if you connect with Gemma, I don't know if I'm going the right way. I never know which way is left or right in here. But if you really connect with Gemma today, I would say start off with, you know, a reading or whatever you feel comfortable with. And then if you really connect with her, you know, go to the next level and try to make a commitment, because she'll work with you. She's very loving, and she'll figure something out to, if you're starting at square one, she'll help you to get to square 2. A lot of higher level 6, 7 figure coaches are square 4, 5, or 6, right? So those are at another level, and we can go there too. But, you know, we're really right now able to help people right from square 1. You know, and I think that's a different thing from the ones that are the 6 and 7 figure ones. It's very intimidating, and plus they're very expensive, which they deservedly have a right to be, because they're at that level now, and we will rise up and do our thing too. But that's why it's so important to have so many different levels, and why it's important for you and I, because of the way we are, that we have an array, a major array of tools, spiritual tools to turn to, because that's what makes us different.
Definitely. And, you know, I've coached people at the beginning, people in the middle, and people at the top. So,
Good.
you know, I will work with whoever and however they need me. And also within my coaching package, you know, we have access to all of the tools. So,
Right.
you know, if you connect with me and we set up a coaching package, that will include the readings, that will include the coaching, that will include mentoring, support,
Everything. Right.
healing, activations, catalyzations, anything that
Excellent.
is needed. I have the ability to channel through from my guides what
Right.
you need. And there have even been the instances where I've been surprised when I've been working with somebody and we've been doing a sound bath or something like that. And all of a sudden, some other idea has come through. And that is because that person needs that. And it's
Right.
important to be with somebody who follows their heart compulsion so that you can get what you want. And if I'm compelled to do something for somebody, then I will act upon it. I won't hide it and keep it and say, oh, I'm not going to give you it because, you know, I've
Right.
been told to charge more for that. That would be part of what you need within the agreed package.
Absolutely. Well said. Because I certainly didn't mean to say we can't help anyone on any level, because we can definitely. But it's just with the higher levels, sometimes they won't start with people that are at the starting level. And like you said, sometimes everyone does their own thing differently. So that's what I love about you, is that you're so, and I'm not saying they are, but you're so, like myself, non-judgmental. And it really does help, because I mean, a coach really should be, but it shows. It shows, because when you put your all into it, you're able to pull from any different, especially channeling information that, like, if you had a set syllabus or level of what you were going to be doing, we're not so controlled that we can't just allow spirit to still come in and give them exactly what we want or what they need instead of what we feel they need.
Yeah.
So that really is a nice connection.
And part of one of the recent abilities that sort of came through was the ability to be able to channel my native guide, who has supported me in becoming what is classed as a soul midwife, or some people call them a death something or other. I can't think of the word, but I prefer soul midwife, because, you know, I've had the honour of being able to sort of cleanse people's vessels, support
Nice.
them emotionally so that they're able to accept their transition through to their next journey, and just to allow them to be free, to move on. And that has been such an honour and a wonderful lesson with quite a few people. So, you know, follow what comes out from your heart, because if it's loving, if it's with good intention, then it is the right thing to do.
That's it.
So my saying is, I like to have many baskets.
Yes.
So, you know, keep your work varied, be able to help anybody's cry for help at the drop of a hat, even to the sense, whereas I've been connecting with people in groups and I've been drawn to message somebody privately and I'm just like, hi, I'm here, how are you? And they're like, oh my goodness, you're an angel. How do you know to message me at this point? I really needed some help and support. And that has led on to beautiful friendships and connections.
Absolutely. That's beautiful, that you can be so connected that you can even just come right out and say, how can I help you? I love you. Because so many people can be intimidated, and that's just so awesome to be able to feel so comfortable with your abilities, that that it's okay to approach that person, and then them feel that an angel has come, because some people are intimidated, they don't know, or overwhelmed, they don't know where to go, who to go to. And that's why we're talking about this, and why it's so important that when you feel really like it's beyond deja vu, it's like a real resonating, you really feel like you almost love this person. You don't even know them, you know. It's a good way to, you just really feel so connected. You're having deja vu and stuff, but just all kinds of things all happening. That's a resonating, and that's letting you know this is the person you should be connecting with. It's really important to listen to yourself.
Exactly. And you know, that is the first step in any ability that you may be wanting to start your journey on. You know, people are like, oh, well, what are my abilities? What are my gifts? Well, if you can give yourself a few moments to connect with what's important to your heart, because that's where all your leads, that's where all your flags, that's where all your guidance comes from. If you can listen to that and connect to that and really consider what you're passionate about, what your heart's passionate about, then that will lead you everywhere.
Everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. You're absolutely right. So let's see. We talked about, can we talk just a couple minutes more about you being a walk-in? Because it's so rare, but now it's becoming more normal. And a lot of people are trying to deal with just their one walk-in. And you've had them in the past, like when you were younger. Did you have one when you were younger?
The first one I had was in 2000, and then again in 2010, and it was in synchronization with the babies that I lost, actually. So they were the portals, or the keys, if you like, to my wanting to leave and bring in and integrate. So yeah, that is the what's the word? What I've noticed in hindsight.
Catalyst, like, yeah, because a lot of walk-ins will have near-death experiences. So losing a child is a near-death experience.
And in 2010, I nearly did die. So, you know, it was just heartbreaking, the whole situation, of course, as you would expect for anybody going through something like that. And it was just, you know, you want to give up at those points. But the fact is, I wanted my vessel to continue because our divine source has a plan. And I feel humbled to be part of that plan. So, you know, in allowing and accepting the integrations, it has moved me to a level of peace.
Which is so awesome. And that's another way you and I connect, because I lost a child myself. And I had the same feeling. It's just a part of you almost feels like dies inside. And it's very hard every day to get up. And sometimes you don't want to, but you do anyway, and you have no choice. So you move on. And I had to, because I had another child. So my oldest child actually saved me. And I kept going because of him. Otherwise, if I had been alone, it would have been a lot harder. So I give you even more love and healing and support, because you went through that without. And so you had to really connect with yourself and hold on to yourself at that point. And go ahead.
And at some point, you have to make a choice, because these experiences remain with you indefinitely. You know, at any time, I can sort of recollect all those emotions, all those feelings, and all that grief. And that's important, because in order to support somebody else who's going through trauma, you need to understand trauma. In order to give love, you need to understand what it's like not to have love. And that has been a very big lesson of higher learning that, you know, is used as a carving tool in order to create who we are now. And the choice that I had to make was, I either continue along that path feeling unhappy, or I choose to now think about my child with love, and to send them love, and to think of them with a smile, because they were a blessing no matter how long they were with. So, you know, to appreciate that it's better to love than to not is a valuable thing that helped me find the strength that I need to go, well, this has happened, and it happened this many times, but if I start seeing my worth, because that's what it was a lesson of.
Right.
You know, the universe was one spring before I had Frankie, so excited that every time I walked out, all the plants were like overly excited, and I could feel their excitement. And I was saying to them, "What are you excited about?"
Right.
And they're like, "We're not going to tell you, but we're so excited." And I made a mental note of that, and didn't connect the two until long after.
Right.
But the excitement was for the forthcoming child that I was going to get to keep. And that moment when I said to the universe, "I deserve this," they were all jumping for joy. Yes, finally, that's for what she wants. And I was given it. So, you know, it is a valuable, valuable lesson. And, you know, every day count my blessings for the child that I have in my life, and take great responsibility in being a loving parent, one that doesn't control but tries to nurture. And that's hard, you know, because parenting is a lesson of patience. And at a very young age, they know what they want. So, you know, you either bend and sway with them, or you butt heads. And I would rather bend and sway.
Right. And that's why I got so teary-eyed and started crying last night, because when you dealt with your little one, it was like, oh my God, you were just a wonderful, loving mother. And that's the thing, so many people, you know, just get pregnant without even thinking about it, you know, and they become a parent. And they may be a good or maybe not a good parent. But what you've gone through has made you one of the best parents ever. You're just so concerned, and you give him attention. It's obvious you love him, and you use your spiritual advancement to teach him, and to and you don't discipline, you teach him. You explain, and so many people get impatient and just use discipline and other things, and because it's just on TV, it's just more convenient. But when you're spiritually connected, and you're spiritually connected to your child, and then you're spiritually connected to the ones that have passed, there is such a unique family connection all the way around, that it just has just takes the family level to a much higher level. Your child is a beautiful young angel, and so intelligent and so awake. And so many people close down their angels because they're not aware of it. It's okay. It's just they're not aware of it. But those that are, keep their children open and constantly feeding them education on spiritual connectedness, so that they can rise at such an early age, because they already are. When they come in, they start to shut down usually around 5 or so, especially when they're going to school, and everyone tells them, oh, don't talk about, you know, what you see. Not everybody can see that. They'll think something of you. Well, it's a whole nother generation now, because our children are going to be, you know, giving us grandchildren. And so they're on the next level, right? They are so completely different than the way we were. That this whole new generation that's being born wide awake really needs wide awake, patient, loving parents.
And that is our other job. Our other life mission is to pave the way for our children to be more accepting and loving of themselves. If we can demonstrate that, then that empowers them and gives them permission. That is so important right now, is that, you know, even though the schools may be as they are, that you can explain to your child, well, this is what we believe in, and everybody has different beliefs, and that's okay. You know, you believe in what you believe in, and other people believe in what they believe in. And, you know, my son will turn around and say, well, we believe in angels, don't we, Mummy?
Yes, we do.
So, you know, it's lovely to be able to pass that on to your child at a young age, and that they've got full support. And, you know, the next generation is going to be amazing.
I know. I'm so glad we're part of it, you know, and we get to we get to witness it, and we get to help and take the family values and the family evolution, you know, because everything is evolving right now. So it all starts at home, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I don't know about you, Renee, but I'm starting to get the nudge to bring in some tonal activations now and heart healing.
Absolutely. Yes, so we'll move into a whole nother level. Everybody, she does beautiful. Her voice is so beautiful, and I'm constantly encouraging her to do this because she's so awesome at it. So please bear witness to how beautiful her tones are, and I'm so glad she's going to do it. Absolutely, let's go.
Thank you everyone for being here with us today. It's a great honour and a pleasure to be able to share some heart healing activation tones. So just for a moment, allow yourself to call upon your guides, your angels and your protectors, whoever they are to you, and allow them to encircle you so that you are in a safe space. And I will do the same. And then take at least 3 deep breaths in, breathing in love and the ability to receive for your highest good what is to come through. Your logical brain, you can ask it to step to one side so that you may receive. You may not understand what you're receiving, but the intention is love, nurture, and for your highest good. And as you exhale, release all of the stresses, tensions, all the things that no longer serve you. Deep breath in and out. So the Holy Spirit now comes forward and shares with us an activation code that is planted within your crown and a crystal that is planted within your heart. These things the androgynous Holy Spirit gives you in order to assist you in the now and on the next phase of the journey. Melchizedek of higher learning comes forward and says, the time is now, dear child. It is time for you to see your worth. It is time for you to accept you. It is not external people that need to accept you. It is yourself that needs to accept you. So right here and right now, dear child, see the gift of your worth. Each of you being a divine being, a divine energy. Unlimit yourself. Those natural compulsions are there for a reason, especially if it is within love, especially if it is within unconditional love. So begin that journey within yourself first. And we unlock this now because it is time for us to be unified. And in doing so, we need to start with self. So accept and love every part of you. Even the little parts that you don't quite like are useful and will help you on your journey. And you will become the being you always wanted to be. You will not see the drama, because if you follow your heart, there is no drama, only love.
Absolutely. Thank you. It's so beautiful, like always. You're so beautiful.
So just to allow our bodies and our chakras to feel the tonal energy, because we know it's scientifically proven now. So I'm very passionate about us using the tools that we've got in order to be able to reset and rebalance those important areas that we need going forward. So I'm just going to start with the heart chakra bowl.
Can I say something real quick?
Sure.
That your when you did the activation in the heart and the head, they tinkled and opened and was very obvious. So thank you very much. I hope you all felt that too, because I felt it very, very strong. So thank you.
It's an honor.
Yes.
Here stands before me Jesus, Magdalene, and Gaia, and the three energies combined are one. All is the essence of unity. And this important message that we share with you today is all part of the next phase. So thank you, dear child, for being here. Thank you for signing up to honoring yourself, for finding your unlimited power within. It's time to rise, dear children. Feel your connection to Gaia. Spend time there. That is an example of love and peace. And know that Jesus and Magdalene live within us and allow us now to see how we can heal ourselves. Remember that graze on your knee, that with time heals itself. You are so much bigger than that. We love you.
You too. Thank you. So beautiful. So beautiful. And that message is for everybody out there. All of you who are listening, that message is for all of you. Absolutely. And this is just one of the many reasons why I love this woman. Not to mention that we both resonate with each other, and our lives have crossed so many different paths, even though we're on the opposite side of the planet. I'm so glad that the internet has been able to connect us so that I found my sister, my true sister. And all of you who are watching this right now, can you not see that? I mean, can you not see it? Because I sure can. I already know it. But just seeing us, and transfer the energy. And I'm just, I'm so blessed to have you as a friend.
Aww.
And I do want to tell everybody. I do. I've got a great friend.
I was asked to bring a few decks of cards to my table earlier, so I thought I would bring them, and I've just been compelled to pick one.
Okay.
From the Angel Prayers from Kyle Gray. Don't know whether you can see that there or whether it's the right way round.
Yes.
But so fitting. It says, honor your beauty, and that is through the message of Archangel Jophiel. And join me in saying this prayer now. Thank you, Jophiel, for helping me discover my inner and my outer beauty, and that is male and females alike.
And that's what it is. I love your big, beautiful heart. I just love your big, beautiful heart. and I love mine too. So I am so glad because I can now draw wonderful beings and angels like you. And that's why I'm so glad that I've got you as a friend, and I'm so glad I have all the other friends that, that are in our groups and on our timelines, and your friends and my friends, and we are uniting, because it's not just pulling everyone together. It's certainly for us not about selling, but the unity part of it is about unification with somebody. really uniting heart to heart with somebody, not being afraid of that, to really say, okay, we're united, but this is a soul family or a galactic unification. It just takes it to much higher levels. There were many things that kept us separated, but not anymore. This is a new time, a new dawn of a new age, and it is now fully loving time. It is time to fully love. And as you fully love yourself first, you can love others to love yourself. But when you love yourself first and foremost and feel deserving, like you said, your whole life changes. Everything.
It transforms.
Just like your tones. Your tones are transcendental. Every time I hear them, it's transcendental to me. It takes me to so many different dimensions and different levels. It's like I see new things when I'm in that zone. So you're taking me to places that it's so far out there that I can see more things when I'm out there. And there's new things coming. There's new stuff. Isn't that great? I just got a glimpse of it in there while I was in there. I was like, oh, that's good.
That's the big message for this year. You know, last year there was a lot of squeezes. It was challenges for everybody. All of us felt it. And, you know, that was the squeeze to make us see how we need to move forward. And that is in readiness for this year. So that's projected onto the spring, which naturally will be the springboard. And that's why there's been so many messages coming through about accepting new ideas that come through, because this year is a big year of change. So whereas you may have seen your journey going that way, it may be going that way, but with the addition of things that we may have not seen before. So if you've got any sort of ideas, modalities, grow them, strengthen them, accept them, embrace them. Even if other people around you are not accepting, it is needed. There's a reason why it's come to you. So, you know, you will find the people that need that, including yourself. So whatever you have to offer to others, first give to self. And that is, you know, then going to strengthen you and give you the unlimited energies that you need in order to be able to nurture and sit at peace with yourself.
The new energies that are coming in, especially starting this new year, we both encourage all of you to really listen to what you're being inspired to. Forget about the past, okay? This is new now. So starting as of the first day of this year, everything you're newly inspired with, you should jump on a train and run with it. The things of the past, the darkness, the things that we're trying to block, and all those things, you know, it's just different now. There were many scary things that, you know, I don't know if I can do this, especially when it's really out there. The more out there, the better, because there are so many wonderful things. And if you before being alone or being more not able to connect, you only had the people around you. But now you can go on the internet, you can find other like-minded souls, your soul family and galactic family, who will lovingly support you. And the fact that you announce what you're doing, you're announcing that you're following through with this inspiration, and you just announce it in your Facebook group, they'll start coming to you then. And you'll start noticing you're drawing a new group of people because you're actively getting on your spiritual mission, which is to bring out your new abilities, to realize who you truly are, to connect to your heart and the source and realize you're one with all, and have your third eye open, and then be open to all your clair abilities. The first thing you do is you want to use them. So we're inspired to use those tools, and we encourage you all to go ahead with it. If you're concerned, or you're questioning, or you're just learning and developing your skills and you want help, that's what we're here for. It can be scary.
Just as an example, Renee, you know, when I first started getting the compulsion to sort of send cleansing into Gaia, into our soils. When I first had the compulsion to sort of transmute and manipulate energies that were potentially classed as negative, and I was able to visualize manipulating them to be minerals that Gaia needed, I didn't speak to anybody about it because I was like, oh, they're going to think I'm right weird. And then as time went on and I was in the spiritual circles and I happened to mention it to somebody and they was like, oh yeah, I do that too. So it's totally, you know, do not worry about these things. There will be somebody out there who's had the same compulsion as you, and you will find them and you will connect, and together you will be able to do so much more together. You know, in line with sort of getting the idea of, right, well, the trees are all getting chopped down. Let's create some new ones. Let's not create baby ones. Let's create big ones, fully grown ones, because that is what is needed. You have the ability with the power of your mind and the power of visualization to recreate them. The same as bees, crystals, oils, all those things that Gaia needs, we are here to provide it for her. And that is a very important message of help. So please follow what comes in your heart. If it's something good like that, then once you've done it and you've followed that compulsion, and so it is. And people will say to you, oh, was that tree there before? You know, and that's how the validations come through, that what you did worked.
That's right. I used to hug them, but now we can create new ones. You know, I had that real connection with them and the love that came from them, but I didn't realize that until recently, that we can, you know, bring in new trees, we can bring in new species, we can help bring in the old that are extinct and bring in new. It's amazing. And again, I hate to say it again, but, you know, back when we were, you know, didn't have the internet, we had to express ourselves or hold it in. And if you held it in, then something would happen to let you express it. And nowadays with the internet, go ahead.
I was just going to say the internet is a prime example of something that can be light and dark, shall we say, or good or bad. So for us, the internet has given us a different way of connecting with people's energy. So whereas the world has given us a perception that everything is physical matter, the internet, you know, the people that you connect with, that you suddenly feel sort of so much love for and connection with, it's teaching us to live through the heart and to connect through the heart. Because one day we will be connecting and communicating without internet and media, and we will be able to connect straight away to people just through our heart. And this is what we're using as a practice tool to be able to do that. So everything is energy, and
I like that.
We are masters of energy, and that is why we're here.
Absolutely. I like that. What a beautiful explanation. Hadn't really thought of it that way. It is a beautiful stepping stone to help us to go to an actual telekinetic level. Because it is pulling us out of the physical. Because I used to run around and, you know, I had a choice to either say something or not. And I said stuff all over the place, and everybody just backed away from me. And my family, everybody just, you know, went, okay, we can't stop her, so get out of the way. But, you know, now it's much easier with the internet to be able to put your, you know, your information out there and then resonate and draw in those that connect with it, unify. And then connect with that unity, meld in with everybody. And then once you're all a unit, you actually, all your clair abilities, right, start connecting with everybody, and you telekinetically connect. And we are all very powerful beings. We don't even realize how much we are, but in a group, we can see how everybody else is. And eventually you're like, oh, okay, I must be like them, right? It's hard to see yourself. It really is hard to see yourself. And so when you're in a group, you get to see yourself through others. And so it's all a much higher spiritual energy, much different level. And I see that. You're right. We're all gravitating into the next level. This is like its own little portal vortex.
I'm seeing, you know, the World Wide Web, you know, that is the foundation of how we're all connected. So We are all extensions of each other, and that is why we feel so connected. That is why you have the ability to meet somebody and instantly feel like you've known them for years. That is an example of the web and the way that we're connected.
I've spent my whole life trying to reach people, but this last year and a half, I've reached thousands, thousands of people, and I'm just getting started, you know? It's like, this is just so wonderful. It's so exciting to, you know, to know that there's so many out there. I mean, I thought for a long time I had to wear that Wonder Woman cape, you know. I had my Superwoman, I had my Supergirl, you know, Superman, Supergirl cape with my Wonder Woman abilities, and that's how I've been going all my life.
Bless you. Well, you are Superwoman. You know, this is why the world is leaving messages like that. I mean, you know, look at dragons. You know,
Yeah.
we as children were brought up to believe, oh, that's very mythical, but they do exist. They are on a different vibration, which is why we don't see them. We're not ready to live with them in the physical matter just yet. So we see them etherically or through our mind's eye once we connect with them. But in time, once we've all accepted that they are there, they will be able to become physical again, and we'll be able to live with each other again, the same as the unicorns, the fairies. They're all waiting. All those extinct animals are not extinct. They live within the inner earth that exists under our feet, and that inner earth community continually send love through to us daily to help us with our journeys. And that's why you feel so much love coming through some days, because they're making a conscious effort for you to feel it. Yeah. And it's just such a blessing to know that, you know, as a planet, we are so supported individually, collectively. You know, every planet is here to help us. And I think it's lovely, you know, that we can act as channels now to help those galactics as well.
That's awesome. That's because you wouldn't normally know, well, how are we able to do that? Where's it all coming from? It's like, what do you mean we can grow a full tree? You know, a lot of the time I see like little eggs, you know, I'm pulling spiritual eggs, and then I kind of, you know, figure out how to nurse them, you know, nurture them and see them grow, you know, but I just always thought of new beginnings as babies and, you know, and eggs. But you're absolutely right. Why not go right to a full grown? Because they, you know, they can last for so long. But the species, I was wondering how we were going to do that. But the energy of the essence, their essence of their energy is all we have to tap into, because we are pure energy. We can, you know, create whatever we believe we can create, because we're material too, we're physical. So we have the both capabilities of manifesting on both levels.
Yeah. And as Jesus said to me recently, is if you can imagine it, you can create it. And the things that you create without even realizing it. And I think, you know, many people in any community, any religion, you know, practices things like the law of manifestation and things like that. Obviously, you know, there's different branches of them, but it's all to instill the belief that we can create what we think. And if you look around you now and see everything that sits around you, you created that.
Right. And I've got one heck of an imagination. I always have. Since I was very young, I was astro traveling at a very, very young age, and I had to observe. I couldn't talk, you know. I had to observe, and the things I saw were amazing. And there's just no way I could have just dreamt it. It wasn't in my head to dream something like that. It was so amazing. And I saw a lot of creatures that were like on our planet. It's very unique. And it took a long time for me to start realizing these are all of our things that are evolved to other levels. and we're seeing all of them at their ground level. But when we go out in astral, we can see other things that have evolved into beings. I mean, what is that? Conscious, awareness. And they look like some of our animals and insects and things that we have here. So, boy, when you come back from that, you start looking at all the things we have and go, wow, did we go out and create all these other things from our original beginning? Or, is it all just connected and we're all on different levels? It opens up so many questions when you start astro traveling and seeing so many things. And I wasn't able to really talk about it with anybody. So, now they're able to come back up now and individual things. But that was probably the biggest thing in all the astro traveling, was to see how many different creatures they are. And they weren't different. They were very similar to what we have on our planet. That was very eye-opening to me. Very eye-opening.
And it's like, you look at the humble fly, shall we say, the creature that, tends to be considered a pest. It is an awesome recycler. It is a very good awareness. You can stand a few yards away and it will be like aware of you and it will start to move away. It's very hard to catch a fly. And their purpose is to break down things that need to be put back into the soil. So, such an awesome creature that we've created in order to, recycle things, and it doesn't create any waste. It doesn't hurt anybody. So, let's just appreciate a moment some of the creatures that people consider a pest. There is a reason for it being there.
Every single one of them. And that's like every single energy or illness or thing. There's always an emotional or a spiritual connection with everything. So when something happens, you can always ask yourself what else is involved in this. There's always more education, and the minute you ask, then the answers start coming. So it's really important to ask the questions, give permission for the answers, and then wait.
And any of these creatures you can connect to. And, I've had many instances of being able to connect to a bumblebee that was drowning in my son's pond, and I fished it out and I found a straw and I blew it dry, and it even lifted its bottom up so that I could dry its underside. And that was beautiful. To be able to connect with a creature and to look into each other's eyes and to communicate almost is just so magical and so inspiring and awesome. That it's just out of this world.
I know, so beautiful.
When you go out into your garden and you happen to have a lovely plant, and the one that I'm thinking of was a passion flower, and it said, "Eat me." I was like, what? That funny looking thing. So I looked it up. I couldn't just eat it on that say so. And I spoke with a friend, and it helps pain relief. It helps people who can't sleep. Well, I ate one every night after that whilst they were in flower, and I've not suffered with insomnia since. And I was an insomniac from the age of 15 up to my 30s. So, I'm truly thankful for that plant saying to me, eat me. And, thereafter, there's so many examples of communicating with trees and, the things you wouldn't think you can communicate with. All animal lovers know that they can connect and communicate with their animals in a different way. And they are there to teach us that. So let that ripple out and find yourself time to connect with some of the other beings.
They bring us information, but we also can give them love and healing and gratitude and appreciation. And that was a beautiful story. Oh my goodness, that's just beautiful. And it did remind me of one that I've had and that I haven't really talked about in a while, and that it brought it up. I was out in in an area where there was a little pond and had lots of cattails and frogs are just going, you know. So I walked out into this area and a lot of the brush was almost as tall as I was, the cattails and stuff. I was walking on things, and afterwards I realized I don't know how I was walking on that because that was water stuff. But I was walking and I got into a depth of it inside. And all of a sudden, I don't know, because I had been meditating up on I forgot, I had been meditating on a plateau. And then I came to, because I kept hearing the frogs. So I'm like, I love ponds. So I went down to the pond and I was so drawn to the pond. So I was already very powered up at that point and enlightened. And so when I got in there, all of a sudden, everything that flew went all up at the same level to my eyes. And there were thousands of everything that could fly, everything. And they all buzzed at a vibration that was amazing. And they just literally took me up to a whole, because I was already so open and so empowered and so lit up and vibrating. They just like helped me go to another higher vibration. It was definitely scary just for a moment, because you imagine bees and dragonflies and flies and everything that could fly was like all of them looking at me straight in my eyes. I mean, and you know, for a minute I could have been afraid for so many levels of things, but I just did what I normally do. I just opened up my heart more and went, oh my God, thank you. I love you all. And then we just all raised up to the next level. And it, you know, it was just magical. And I haven't told a whole lot of people about it, but it's just one of those nature stories, because I love nature. I go do things all the time. But that was a very big validation for me. Big time. Yeah. And that was 25 years ago. It was a long time ago. I haven't talked about it, but
Guy has just shown me what hoverflies do. She said that hoverflies go around all your plants, checking what stage they're at, and then they go and tell all the pollinators when they're ready. So you know how you see the hoverflies sort of randomly sort of moving around? That's what they're doing. They're assessing when the plant is ready to flower, and that is how magically all your pollinators come at the perfect moment to pollinate them.
Because the others are telling them. Wow, what a great connection. Well, we know Gaia's got every grid and everything connected, but when you witness it, it's like, wow. Yeah. And then you can see how much we are integrated with it all as well. Yeah. And the stewards of the planet, the protectors, the enlighteners, it's very important. And all this time, I keep saying by myself, I know I've never been alone. But it's just, you know, doing my things. I was doing it on my own. And it just seemed like, am I really making a difference? You know, I know that, you know, what if I'm one of the only ones doing this? I have to do this. What if I'm one of the only ones? So it doesn't even matter. I just got to do it, you know, and then I just kept doing whatever and just whatever I was called to do. And now that I'm able to connect with everybody, I realize, wow, I did make a difference. One person does make a difference, especially when you're doing it your whole life, every day. We don't realize when we're interacting with everything and everybody, how much we truly are connecting and how much we are affecting and healing and inspiring and exchanging codes and the healings without even saying anything, just when the auras cross. You know, so then when the intention in the heart is there and you actually are doing something on purpose, it's quite powerful and magical. And most people don't, if they don't believe, they don't realize how much it is. And that's the belief factor. So the more faith, the more belief that you have in yourself, the more you gratefully feel you deserve it as well, the more empowered you become and the more you can do effectually. And then you actually, if you ask for it, can see the results. We don't have to not see them. We can see them now.
Because when you do not act upon compulsion, we're always shown why we should have. And that is what helps us build our trust and our belief. So if you can avoid that lesson just by hearing what we're telling you in the now, is that follow that compulsion. You won't need to have that lesson of what would have happened if you had have listened to it.
Right, right. And that your innate body, the energy that comes from your body, is what your intuition connects with. Okay, so you're actually connecting to your innate body with your intuition. It all comes together and you have a communication. It opens up the doorway to be able to do all kinds of things at that point. So I try to explain it as the body, the mind, the soul, and the intuition, and pulling them all together and having a communication with everything. Because then you can turn around and then have a communication outside yourself. And what's really wonderful of we've learned as readers is that our intuition can go over to your intuition and have a nice talk and give us information that our ears aren't hearing, that somebody else can speak with their mouth, and do you notice too how if you're not getting your stuff or you're not hearing, that you start saying the same thing to other people that you need to hear. And then it's like, oh, I better do that. I'm saying it, I don't want to be hypocritical. And I learned that along the way too, that if I'm not listening, I find myself telling other people the exact same thing I need to hear.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's one of the biggest lessons, is to know that the advice you're offering is also advice that you need to use for yourself. And that's a great tool in keeping yourself humble, is taking your own advice.
Exactly.
I mean, we've all sort of stood at a bus shelter or in a supermarket, and all of a sudden words have flowed from our mouth to a complete stranger, and it's like, wow, where did that come from? And that is a channel. We are all channels, so we all have the ability to be an angel to somebody in their time of need. So you don't have to sign yourself up and say, I want to be in service. You are in service just by being a child living their expressive life on this planet. So, just allow these things to flow. There's a big conception or perception in the spiritual community that, all the books that have been written, you have to follow it word for word. When I went down on the Reiki path, there's a very rigid way of teaching it. But what I learned is that you will always learn. And, what may be right for you may not be right for somebody else. So always, whatever you are doing, whatever you're thinking of, or whatever you're learning, take what resonates, add to it what comes through for you to add to it, because that is your unique part of it. Like somebody who teaches you to knit, you still find your own way of doing that.
Doing it, right.
So the same applies within your journey, your spiritual journey, your abilities. You are here to be uniquely you because somebody needs you.
Absolutely. And as an astrologer, I can literally prove it black and white paper in black and white that there are no two people alike. And so if there are no two people alike, there is no one way for everything. There may be one source that we can all connect to, and we're all one, but we are all very, very unique, and we can prove that. And so if we are, then we need a multitude of abilities and talents and connections to do things. So again, like she just said, resonate, take what resonates with you. And then if you want and you feel the need, put your own spin on it, because that's your spin. That's what makes it different. There are so many different ways of doing, Reiki. There's so many different ways of doing readings. There's so many different ways of healings that it doesn't matter, because who you resonate with, who is drawn to you, is going to need that help. So the biggest thing I can say, or both of us could advise to you, is to please don't compare yourself. There is no comparison whatsoever. We're not alike. We're all one, but we're all so unique. You're not gonna be like somebody else, and you don't necessarily want to either, because your uniqueness is what makes you so special. So please, love yourself and deserve your uniqueness. Understand that you are who you are, and if people don't like it or don't want to deal with it, then go to people who do. Because the ones that don't will try to knock you down and take that away because they don't have it, maybe, right? But the ones that do will lovingly support you, bring you up, and teach you more, on a much bigger scale. So just appreciate your uniqueness.
Indeed. Yeah. Beautiful.
So now, you think this is time for the announcement?
Yes.
I even kept her surprised, although she knows what it is. So what Gemma has done is she has agreed to do an interview for me. So we haven't talked about it too much. I haven't said it to anybody, hardly at all. We were going to do it today, but this is very energy draining, and it's too much really to do 2 interviews in one day. I've been trying to do 2 or 3 interviews in a week, and that's even difficult. So I wanted to have a date planned, but I don't yet. So we will announce it when the day comes through. I'm tentatively thinking about the 11th, but I have to make sure that you have your schedule okay first. So once we connect and get the date connected and correct, I will be announcing it, because I'm doing 31 days of announcements. So as soon as we know what that date may be, then that'll be that day's announcement. So it's going to be so awesome. I get to tell my little story, and my little different things, but I've kind of tapped into quite a few of them already with Gemma, and that's why I am totally excited about her interviewing me, because of our wonderful connection, and she completely understands many of the things I've been through in my life, and I with her. So I feel really good about that. And so thank you very much.
Lovely to hear your story.
And this is just a one-time thing for Gemma. So, she might do some more down the road, but for right now, this is just a one-time thing that she's been inspired to do. So I'm like, oh yeah, because I haven't even thought about that yet. I'm so busy trying to get everything done.
I never say never. If there's an opportunity to do something, then talking has been my living, call centres, etc., etc. So I can talk. Good communicator. So, I'll give it a go. I'm open to doing public talks with people spiritually, all that sort of thing. I never sort of restrict myself. I'll see where it takes me.
We're both very confident in our abilities, so we can do anything that our minds can imagine. So if you ask us, you never know. I mean, even if we haven't done it before, I'll give it a go. I mean, every one of my abilities, I just said, well, I haven't done that before, let's try it. And it was amazing that it worked, because really what matters is the connection to your heart ultimately. So as long as you've got that, all the other abilities just open as you do them and you try them.
And one of my recent inspirers or guides, if you like, Dolores Cannon, who invented the QHHT, she was a big chunk of a lesson in the recent years about not limiting yourself. Right. So, open the doors, open the horizons. If we're going to empower ourselves in order to empower others, then, you have to live it, you have to talk it, you have to walk it. Right. So, never say never. Anything's possible. We all underestimate ourselves too much. So it's time to estimate and anticipate and get excited for the different adventures that we could have. Because this year is a joyful year. One of happiness, love and peace. And that is what we've all been waiting for. Yeah. So let's start that journey within.
And be open to all the possibilities that are going to come through. Don't say no to opportunity. Say yes until you have to say no, just on a regular scale. I mean,
I feel the fear anyway. If it's good, if it's, good intention, then, what's there to fear? If you're doing something good for people, go with the flow.
Mm-hmm. You'll be surprised when you realize you actually can do it, and you can do it pretty good. It's okay if fear and doubt comes up, but you should still at least try it. It's like being that mama, just try what's on your plate. If you don't like it, fine, you don't like it. But how can you say you don't like it if you haven't tried it?
Well,
It's just the same thing.
When we learn to walk, we stumble and trip, don't we? And that's how we learn to not stumble and trip. So, if we might sort of stumble with our words and trip with our words on a few occasions, then so be it. Because, it makes us human, it makes us plausible, it makes us real. So make those mistakes because in that way you'll learn how to flow better.
And that's what really all fear is about most of the time, is that you're going to make a mistake. So what? I make mistakes all the time, guys. Haven't you noticed? I just keep on going. It's like, what? Well, you can't. You just got to. And if you fall down, literally fall down, you just pull if your pants come down, pull back up, get yourself back up, pull yourself together and do it again. And usually every time you do something again, it's better. So it doesn't matter if you fall down, because when you get back up, that's the main thing, is that when you get back up, typically you'll be wiser, and you'll start again, and you'll do it much quicker, better, faster, every different level. So especially you learn that when you're doing web design, because you hit so many blocks, and then you get up and leave, and you come back, and then you do some more, and then, there it all unfolds in front of you. But if you hit a block that you can't fix, you literally just start over again, because you know that when you go through it the second time, it won't happen the second time. So it was one of those things I learned as a technician, that just to keep going. And as an actress, you don't stop the whole thing, and you don't freak out. And if you did, it would still be okay, because then it's real, like you said. It's real that, we are real people here. I'm not getting, this, well, I could, but it will morph into more wonderful things, but for right now, it's just real and raw and heart-centered. And yes, that's what this is all about, to be able to help people that have helped me in the beginning. All the people I'm helping right now are the ones that helped me, and it will grow into being able to help more. And then as the sponsors and the things happen, we're all going to go as a whole group. So that's why it's so important. All the things I'm doing is a promotional level for us to be able to connect and unite with others. But the individual groups do their own things, except for the advertising group. So the advertising group, everybody should be in, because everybody has something. And the reason being is, and maybe not everyone understands, but when I grab that group and get ready to start promoting, that's what I'm going to grab. Because when I promote, I only have 1 or 2 links, and I keep it simple. And those links go into everything else. And that's why I got to be organized and have all the funnels all together. So that's what I'm creating now, so that when the promotions really kick in, everybody's going to go with it. So all these interviews, the YouTube channel, and then the advertising, promoting, marketing group that I'm going to start pushing more now, everybody should be in, just because everybody has something that they're marketing or promoting. And so it's much easier to just take everybody, because then somebody will resonate with somebody. It will connect to way more people on a bigger scale. So, and then again, Gemma's in all of my groups. So if you have any, difficulties or issues, or, want to connect with her, you'll find her in all of them. She's my admin on everyone. And thank you again. Thank you so much. It's so important to have someone that you trust, when it comes to admin, quite frankly, on all levels. We're rolling now. Did you want to talk about your group? I wasn't sure about your group, if you're keeping it very closed, or you're wanting to talk about it and bring people in.
Well, it's Serenity, and it's just a group that...
Can you say that again? It stopped. It's called Serenity is the name of her group.
Yeah. So if you feel like joining, because we share articles of interest that can develop you, can widen or expand your horizons or your path. We interact with each other. We share uplifting memories. We're there to support each other and pray for each other with best intentions when our family are going through ebb, if you like, or dark times. It's important to have a support network.
Mm-hmm.
So, definitely that's something that we aspire to give within the group Serenity.
So that's a big yes. You definitely are expanding your group. So if you resonate with Gemma here, the link, it should be right near the top of her event. Now this will be put into the event, but her group Serenity, just go ahead and join, and she'll interact with you there. It's a beautiful family unified group. You've got kind of it all in one, and it's really nice. And then you have your Gemma Oracle page for your Gemma Oracle readings.
And that's where you can connect to me and see what services I offer, or if you're not sure whether I can offer what you need, then please feel free to message me, and we can come up with a plan.
And then you have your site, your website?
That's the Gemma 3-star Oracle Nelson at WordPress. But all the links are available in the event for you to have a look on there. It is something that's still under development because it's a big learning curve for me, learning how to create a website. So there's still lots of work to be done on it.
And you started with WordPress or WordPress. I mean, it's a very advanced web design, I mean, I cut and paste with Wix because I don't even, as a web designer, have time to do it. So I just kind of cut and paste. So I'm very impressed. I was going to ask you that next. Did you do that yourself?
Oh, I've had some support from a sister. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, because it's a long learning. Yeah. And just to get the basics up, and your site looks really good for, if you didn't know, I was like, wow, that's really awesome. So yes. And it is always good to learn. The only thing about web design that I can tell you over all these years is that everything changes. It's like you learn one thing and then they upgrade and now there's WordPress, it's like, okay. So it's a constant learning curve all the time.
Yeah. And I'm also on Instagram and Google Plus.
And Google Plus?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the big thing, I think, I know you're just starting kind of like me, but our YouTube channel is really important.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that there's a spot where you can create your playlist that you can make a friends, playlist. And that's what I'm going to be doing, plus the interviews, but there's a place where you can then actually support your friends on your own channel, which is really nice. Yeah, that's a great way for all of us to interconnect and unite on YouTube, because once we get to that next level, there'll be thousands of people. So Facebook is our family unity where we get started, and then we platform or, use the diving board to go to maybe through Instagram or something else. But to get to, YouTube is probably one of the largest right now. I mean, we have a wonderful foundation here with Facebook, but not everybody's on Facebook. But because people are tired of paying those high prices for their TV, everybody is now really branching out to YouTube, because you realize on YouTube, there's everything. First of all, there is everything on YouTube. And if you just do a search, you can find what interests you most and bypass all the commercials, bypass all the violence, and go straight to what we bypass, especially those commercials, but, go right into what it is we really choose and want to listen to. And with all the binaural beats and was it Sufio or all the different kinds of, things we can listen to. I have a full sleeping, section. Actually, my playlist, I have them locked on YouTube, but I have a section for sleeping and a section for abundance, and let them just play while I'm sleeping, and usually in the background when I'm working. And I'm getting those while I'm, because I used to pretty much listen to only music, but now I'm listening to the binaural beats and the what is that? Subliminal.
One, isn't there as well? The Earth's resonance. which you can listen to all night. Somebody who's watching will know exactly what it's called, and they'll know what I mean. But it's to do with the Earth's resonance. So if at all you wake up one day and you're feeling particularly ungrounded, then pop onto YouTube and type in the Showman's Resonance. I'll put a link in the comments later.
Okay.
And you'll be able to listen to that, and it'll help you feel more balanced and grounded too.
Speaking of chat room, when we're in Be Live, we're coming through Facebook, and we do see your messages in Facebook, but we are not able to actually comment through Be Live yet. They're working on this problem. They're going to get that fixed, but we can't answer, which really is kind of a drag, because people come in, we see people viewing, and they leave messages, but we just can't respond. So we can verbally respond, though. We can see them. We just can't type it in there. And I'm going to have to start kind of, letting that be more known. So I'm glad that was, a chance to be able to say that.
I currently can't see any comments.
You can't see anything. Okay, so we only had a few, and it was basically, oh, here, no, there's more now. Okay, so it started off with lots of hello, beautiful ladies, and some beautiful hearts. And again, it's comment from Facebook, so we don't even know who it is. And Gemma is amazing. Gemma is awesome and so supportive. Gemma, thank you. So grateful. Thank you so much. Blessed. Wonderful interview, Renee. Love the energy. Very nice. Made it. Thank you, Gemma and Renee. Hi, Gemma. And so enjoyed listening to the both of you. Looking forward to Gemma interviewing you, Renee.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you, everyone.
They're all very, very beautiful. Very nice. I think that was really nice. It's and these, everything we're learning, each level of, how to do each thing. And just as we get it all together, we find something new. So right now, YouTube is kind of my big goal to get to and have, more subscribers. And we both have about 20 subscribers. So if you want to support us lovingly, I would say that's probably a number one thing is we're trying to build our YouTube channel. So the more that subscribe, the better it is. And I learned last night, as you know, like at 1 o'clock in the morning, I was trying to set up an event to be able to do these announcements and schedule them. Well, when I put it in the tribe, there's no schedule capability. And when I put it over on the page, there's still no schedule capability. So somewhere along the line, I seem to remember reading that you have to have a certain amount of people in your group before that scheduling capability comes through.
All right.
Yeah, like if you have under 50, or under 100, they want a certain level. And then all of a sudden, these other abilities start coming out like scheduling. So that's why I put the, join my tribe, please, because I've only got so many. And I'm sure that once a few more come in, that scheduling capability will come out, and then I can schedule it. Otherwise, I just have to keep doing each one. And since, I don't get up till noon because I stay up so late, I'm either going to have to do the announcements at 12 or 1 in the morning, because I always try to hit that 1:11 time. So it's either going to be 1:11 a.m. or 1:11 p.m. that I'll be doing these announcements. But I have so many announcements that I decided there's no way I could launch all these announcements at first. It would just freak out everybody, too much, overwhelm them. So I'm just going to do one day at a time. So today I officially launched Spot On today. So this is our officially launched interview today. We are officially rolling now. I mean, it was there before, but when you do a launch, it's like an open door, an open house. This is the time that we're actually, and last night was fortunate. So, me as an astrologer, I'm always, working on those fortunate times. So when the time happens, especially in the middle of the night, that's when all my stuff will come up all at once and you'll be like, whoa, but there's always a method to my madness. And when the fortunate times come, I've got to be ready to go. So I know ahead of time, but they don't always come conveniently at the afternoon time in the middle of a weekday. Sometimes they come at Sunday at 1 o'clock in the morning, and that's when I got to do it, or 3 a.m. The 5 minutes at 3 a.m. I miss those, but anything else I plan ahead. So I know the fortunate times for all this year already. So those are the days that I have available for the interviews. So we'll be doing interviews on fortunate days as well. So that's going to come out too, but only when I can schedule it. So until the tribe gets a little bit bigger right now, there's several things I can't do yet. And the daily readings were something I was just getting started, and a weekly and a monthly, and then Spot On started. So I kind of migrated over to Spot On and to the coaching more now than the readings, and focusing on doing that on YouTube. So it just as I was getting ready to do that, this came along, and that was something I was trying to do. And as a projector, I know it's important to wait for somebody else to ask. And so when Rick came along and said, okay, it's time, I'm like, okay, let's go for it. And I was like, I was just waiting for the right time, and I didn't know it would be then. I didn't know it would be then. So I was like, okay, well then can I interview you? And he's like, yes. And I'm like, oh goodness, we're on a roll. I got to go now. And he didn't want to wait. He didn't care that it was retrograde. He's like, let's do this now. Let's get you going. And it was, phew, it's only been a few weeks. And I mean, look how many have already happened, and how much is rolling. So thank you, universe. Thank you very much. Because this is really what I wanted to do a year ago. But I was, I launched the coaching and got on YouTube. But really, this is really now, it's wonderful how the universe does it, right? You put your heart out there, you get your work out there, you start doing stuff. And while you're doing, all of a sudden you're inspired, or somebody comes along and asks you something, and you're off on a whole nother journey. And it's okay, because sometimes when things aren't working, there's a reason why. We might not know it, but when the new thing comes along and you realize, oh goodness, that's why. Maybe that wasn't necessary. Because I backpedaled when I wanted to do the coaching. I backpedaled back to being a psychic because more people wanted to see the psychic side of me. But now it's morphing over to, oh, they understand really my coaching side more now. They understand the long term, that I rather commit to somebody who's in the long term range. And so everything is just wonderfully morphing. And this is just the beginning of this year. I'm so glad that I'm on target to go in to this year. And especially Aries are having a major Jupiter event. So all of us, because it's a 3-year, are having those changes. But a lot of Aries and the leaders that they are, you're going to see some major shifts with the Aries. So if they trust their heart and hear their intuition, they're going to be making some major changes, like myself, on a big scale, like turning on your camera and becoming a show. I mean, not everybody really has that kind of, energy to do that, or, willpower. And I've been working so hard on the last few years to drop my fears that I didn't even think twice, and now look, in 3 weeks, we started the new year, and now I'm seeing my mission fully unfold. And I've literally could say I've waited 25 years for it. I mean, I've been doing all this to lead up to this because it's going to help people on a much bigger scale. I'm ready to expand on a bigger scale now. And that's what Spirit's saying, right? Let's unite and let's go to a much bigger scale. Let's get the grid across the planet. Let's connect, and everyone realize that we are individually making a difference. You've made a difference. I've made a difference. Together, we're making a bigger difference. And as a full unit on a big scale, we're going to change this planet starting right now, because we can.
Yeah.
And we're going to. Yeah. If it's just you and I, Gemma, we're going to do it. At least Gemma and I are going to do it, everyone. So look out. We're going for it. I know.
Serenity's been running for nearly 4 years now. So these things like you're saying about scheduling and stuff like that, I'm not sure, because I think they only created them once we was already rolling.
Right.
So I don't know whether it's a number thing or not. It's event planner, isn't it?
It's also very personal, you know.
Yeah.
And what does it say? What did you say? Is it what?
Event planner.
Oh, event planner. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm not quite sure about that. But
I know. And then I went to the page. I went to the event page. That's supposed to be just for that, right? The event page.
Right. Well,
So,
I've got a final card.
Okay.
From the Angels and Ancestors deck. Kyle Gray again. Big fan. I love his decks. Beautiful card to end with.
Nice. I can just kind of Father Sky.
The sky, trust in the unknown.
Awesome.
Everything is working out perfectly. Everything will be okay. You will be reborn every day. You have an opportunity to recreate you and to be who you want to be. So let us be empowered now with the energy that comes through from all that is with love.
Awesome. And I love the fact that we had the wise woman and now the father. So we've had the mother and the father energy come out of the ancestors, for me and for everybody. But I take that personal because we had the female before, and now we have the male. So talk about balanced ancestry energy coming through for us, right? Yeah, that's what I feel out of that, and that it's all just perfect. And that's when things don't go right, I just try something different, you know, and then you go back and it's like, well, there it is now. It happens a lot, you know, a lot. And I just kind of move, you know, and try something different. But I was so excited about the scheduler so that I could do the, you know, the financial horoscopes. But we'll just see. I'm just doing every day. We'll just keep on going. Yeah. It's all good.
It'll work out.
It's all good.
That you're trying to do it in, is it a page or a group?
I started in the group because I wanted to be able to do the announcements in the event. So I went to the tribe because that's where I start with most of my stuff. I created the event and I put it out there, and then I went to post and the schedule part didn't show up.
Right.
So that you can pre-schedule your posts.
Yeah.
And then I went over to the Ask Mystic Rose event page, and I thought, well, maybe it's just on the pages that I saw it. And so I created another event in there and went to post, and then the schedule didn't come up either. So I deleted all that. And then I just stuck with what I did because I figured it'd be easier for everyone to join the event. And then that way, every time I put something new in, it automatically goes right to the person. They don't have to go and find it. That's the part I like about the event, is that if you actually say you're going, then everything that's in the event comes to you through your notifications directly without having to go back and find the event. Because unless you save it, it's sometimes when you got lots and lots of stuff, it's hard to find things. You know, I've got so many groups and so many people now and so many messages that, you know, I have to find other alternative ways to keep everything organized. There's so much. And then learning every inch of the way.
Rolling along in the
and being in spirit. Yep, being in spirit and just letting it roll, because it just trying to control it. Oh my goodness. That's my big thing. So I think, is there anything that we missed? We got the tones, we got everyone, your website, Instagram. Oh, what's the Instagram name?
Gemma 3-star Oracle Nelson.
Okay. And as far as payments, you do always accept love donations. Do you work through PayPal or how do you work through?
PayPal, but we can look at different options too.
Okay. Have you
developing that?
Have you checked Patreon?
Not yet, no.
Not yet. That's a whole nother level, and it takes time to learn. And when you want to, let me know. I'll be more than happy to help you. And there's also another one, Instant Go, but it's only for Apple right now. But it's all set up for psychics and for coaches to be able to go through PayPal, but you go right into the chat room and talk to the person right away. But then there's nothing else other than that. It's a search, go to chat, and then talk to them. But then it immediately goes right through PayPal, and they don't charge. They're one of the few ones that don't charge. Patreon will charge a little bit. PayPal charges a small amount. There's really no sense in us trying to accept credit cards because they actually charge a lot to try to accept a credit card. So PayPal has always been the best way. I wasn't really sure, but I wanted to let everybody know, because some people, they're in different places. You're in a different country. Oh, that's what we didn't say. Where are you from, Gemma?
England.
What part of England?
Nottingham.
Nottingham.
Yeah, the land of Robin Hood.
What's that?
The land of Robin Hood.
Nottingham. Nice. Yeah, I realized I haven't been asking people where they're from. So you're about 8 hours. So right now it's just, what time is it there?
25 past 10 p.m.
Okay, and that's where we started wanting to do the 3:33 because we love our threes. But guess what, honey? We started a little after 1:11, but we were on rolling at 1:11, and we are now in just a few more minutes. We'll be at 3:33. So That's probably a good time to stop.
Definitely. I mean, I just want to say with the YouTube channel, that's in its infancy. But the plan is to keep doing monthly messages of support. I use a mixture of Oracle and Tarot when I compile those. I like to keep them short, so no more than sort of 7 minutes as a maximum. And that's also a place where I'm going to be leaving gifts of tones for healing activations, etc. So when I'm compelled to do so, I will post some more. There is already one there.
Awesome. But people can still subscribe to help, get you your numbers built. And then when as you're doing it and you grow, then, more and more can come in. It's okay. Even if it is in infancy, it's still wonderful because they can still access you. And if the people that can't access you on the other channels can get to you through YouTube, which is all around the world. So you really don't know who's looking at you, Gemma. You have no idea on YouTube. They're coming from all over and all kinds of capabilities. And so far, BeLive is supposed to do that. So I'm upgrading and paying for this, and we're going to be able to do things on a bigger scale now. And I'm glad you brought that up because I talk for a long time on these interviews until I feel it's done. We just keep going. And I know and I understand that, yes, they are super long, but nobody is forced to have to watch them. But this is an introduction for the person. Okay, every person has their own introduction. So the raw full footage is going to be inside the event because I want untouched introduction available in the event. But what I'm doing now is I'm learning my new app to do more video editing, and I'm really good once I get the app done and figure out the details. I'm really good at editing, so the end result here is morphing into something different. The full-on unedited versions are going to be inside the event. I may have a space on YouTube that I'll just have them also, but chances are I'm going to try to get people to come back for the original to come into the events. But what I'm going to do is go in and cut it way down to just the nuggets, the best part of the video for about 3 to 5 minutes max, which is going to be very hard for me to do, but I will pick out the best parts. And then that's what's going to be on YouTube, so that there'll be short little pieces of each interview, because there'll be a lot of interviews eventually. And so it's bigger than a commercial, because the commercial is only 30 seconds to 60 seconds. So 3 to 5 minutes is an actual full video on YouTube, because they do suggest to stay within less than a 3 to 6 minute vibe there, or length. So there will be a smaller amount to find through YouTube. And then I literally will be making commercials. So when it gets to the next level of people who are actually paying to do things, they'll come out with a commercial out of it all. So it's definitely picking up, and I'm going to be opening to sponsors at some point this month as well. But first there has to be a show, and there has to be an interest, and there has to be a confirmation that it's going to work. You know, people are going to want it. And so far, everything's been very good. Nobody said anything negative, and there's no reason why I can't do it. I haven't found a reason yet that I'm going to stop. There's really no reason. This is a ball rolling. It's now official. I've launched it today, this morning, during a fortunate time, and that's to let all you guys know I'm not going to stop. Because if things don't work, you just stop and you do something else. But this is working, and I'm going to continue doing this. I have about 20 people that I'm lining up right now for their introduction, and I'll let you all know how when I announce this, how I'm going to morph this also from just their introduction to all the other things we're going to be doing past that. The introduction is the beginning of it all. And so it takes a couple hours to talk to somebody because we're just having a wonderful conversation, and we're really not even able to go in depth into anybody's story because that would be even longer. So we just kind of tap into their stories and really let you know how to find them and what everyone's doing. But we're going to be going further and seeing everybody again and again, especially the core group. But I'll be announcing more of that too. So I am so glad that you're here and that you're with me through all of this. And I think our YouTube channels are both going to definitely grow and morph this year because we just started. They're both babies. So we both have babies together. That's how friends are.
Please, everybody, you know, if you have abilities, services, please feel free to connect with Renee to arrange for your interview because it's a platform for everybody. You know, let's grow each other, let's lift each other. That's what we're all about. So Renee is very approachable, as you've seen. So please feel free to message her to make your arrangements, and we'll look forward to seeing you sometime.
Yes. And I do have many different levels. You know, when I approach somebody who I want to help, I don't even mention anything about anything else. It's strictly me wanting to promote them. But there are, you know, times where people are going to come to me and ask for promotion. Some will be able to, you know, support, and some won't. And those that can financially support, that's what I'm saying. I'm going to be giving them commercials. I'm going to be doing things to promote them as what's going to come out of it. Obviously, right now, the single promotion alone is going to be valuable. So that's what I want to show value. But there will be another level of people that can either come in and be paid sponsors. And so I will have little commercials. I'll be creating them and I'll be doing them, right? So there'll be me. And there'll be other levels of people that come in and also expect to be paid. So our higher level hosts want to fund a fee, have a fee. So there's many different levels of this. So that's why the income and the sponsors matter, because I'm going to need to be paying some of these down the road when we really all decide, gosh, we really want to see this person, you know, and then I'll have to invest in it. But for right now, it's just flowing on its own. And it's when the income starts coming in that the promotions are going to pick up. Right now, I'm just creating the show, getting the interviews, getting the energy with everybody. And it's just been so wonderful. I'm not in any hurry. I'm not in any hurry. I know it's all going to happen when the time is right. So it's just a matter of talking to everyone and having a ball with everyone. So I'm just having fun. I know how to do all the work, but I'm not stressing myself over it. I know each level that happens will happen on its own time. So I'm sure this year, because this is only 3 weeks or 4 weeks max in, so you can only imagine what this year is going to produce.
Yeah.
I mean, I also want to be an inspirational speaker on stage. That's part of where we're going with our coaching. We're going to be getting up on stage, and a lot of this is our experience, right? Because you get more comfortable the more you do it, time after time after time when you do interviews. So if you're uncomfortable, you think you might not want to be doing it live, then we can do it pre-recorded. We also can do audio. I'll figure out how to do just maybe blog talk radio if you just want to talk. I'm okay with that too. So there's all kinds of ways to get your info out. And Spot On is one of the best ways to do it. So thank you so much, Gemma. I love you so much. And I hope I've been able to show everybody else what a loving, beautiful woman you are. And you're just an angel and a pure goddess.
Oh, I love you. Thank you.
How can I not say it? I love you so much. There's just no way I can't. I'm sorry. I love you so much. I can't help myself. And I love being able to do that. That's right there. That's it for me. That's the biggest, best part of all this is me being able to say, I love you so much. And I want all of you to see what a loving, beautiful person this is. I want you all to love her too. That's really what I'm doing. Because I've had to be restricted even saying that. I'm not going to anymore. I'm going to say it. And y'all got to love it. Because you don't have to watch it. Like I said, you can, but you will, won't you?
Very blessed. We're very blessed.
And so am I to have you as such a good friend.
Oh, thank you for being
yes. And you're such a good, you're just covering me. You really are protecting me too. And I love that. And I'm here for you too. So, and everybody that, we're all together as a unit. We're all learning, we're all growing, and we're all going together. So come on in. The water's warm. Okay, so we're going to have Gemma back. She's going to hopefully be part of this new things that we're talking about that I'm going to be launching, and I'm still keeping the little few things surprise. Most of them aren't going to be surprises. They're just going to be launches. But yeah, there's a lot of things coming up this month. I got something every day. So I guess we're good, right? You have anything else you'd like to say?
Just thank you, everyone, for being with us and sharing this space.
Absolutely. I love you. I love you all. That's right. Thank you all. We love you. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.